Rasmus, maybe you could share a little bit about like looking at this on the screen with your class. What would you do then?
First of all, I will have the class discussion. I will go over the topics. If you can you place the mouse on some of them? Maybe the green one with the family.
Yes.
I would point out that it's nice that everybody is, so many is happy with their family and point out some of the good stuff. And then I would point out of some of the not so good stuff and ask them why maybe someone would have answered like this. So I'm not asking you, Amalie, because I think that you have that answer, but I'm asking, can we think of why maybe someone have answered like that, because it's anonymous. So if I know that Amalie is feeling bad in the class, then I can have the opportunity to say something about that. Or the families, my parents are getting divorced or something like that.
Yeah.
So you don't have to talk on your own behalf, but you can talk like I think that someone said this because, and do you want to move on, Lasse, or do I just talk?
Yeah, Lasse, how would you maybe go about it?
Well, it's a lot of the same. I feel like it depends also on the classroom and the relationship you have with the students. So how well that's already built. And I feel like if you have a great culture in the classroom, this is very easy. Students will usually open up when you ask them someone to share. And then that opens up for discussion naturally, because like we talked about students, well, like Rasmus talked about, when someone has a problem, then it's easier for another person to open up that they have the same problem. If you don't have that strong relationship yet, or a great culture in the classroom, then you might have to use different techniques, or like didactic tools, like asking the students to maybe share, talk about it in pairs first, maybe do a small writing exercise about it, and then build like a staircase of steps where to be able to make it easier to share something. Maybe you'll only get to the group stage, and then that's fine as well. And yeah, obviously then you can use these over time. This is just a moment in time, of course, and then once these factors start to show over a longer period of time, then you can do other kinds of stuff, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Yeah, and that's a great lead for the next question, Lasse. Actually, so over time, how would you work to develop these insights, or this progress of the class? How would you work with the class based on these insights?
Well, it would depend on the factor that we're looking at. If there's let's say sleep will oftentimes show up these days as a factor, especially with the age group I'm working with. And that's, it's in reality a kind of a serious issue, and that's something that is tricky to work with. You have to be able to have a discussion with your students eye to eye, and not talk down to them about it, so they feel like you're not preaching, and then obviously you can use some of the great activities that or workshops that are inside of WOOF that are focused on sleep, to work more in a more structured way. Sometimes it might be helpful to maybe later on maybe bring it up with the parents, of course, without outing any specific kids. And then obviously it's just an awareness that you build as well. And it's something that you can kind of return to Also, when you notice it, when you talk to students, it's an awareness that you have. So that would be an example of it. Yeah.
Thank you for these, Les and Amelia. I'm going to jump in with some questions from the chat.
Yeah.
So I see, I'm going to start with the kind of action orientation here. Rasmus, feel free to jump in as well if it feels right. But do you focus on this particular topic over time? Like you mentioned the calendar piece. Does it depend on the group of students? If you're like, we're going to continue to talk about one of the mood impact factors each time, or do you like what kind of approach you take on that? And then secondly, what do you do with the selections on the right? And what do you do with the number on the left? I'll jump in with a follow-up after.
The number on the left for me, it's a kind of do we accept this number as a group, or is it something we have to work on? Does that make sense? If 5 is perfect, nobody's perfect, but is 4 acceptable for us, or what can we do to make it better? And what can I do as a teacher to help you make it better? The pointers on the right, listening, bike, work alone, reading, group. It's like, for me, I use it like, or what's it called in English? To build a group. So I can see that many likes to listen. Okay, is there any kind of podcast that you would like to listen to? Does it make sense?
Yeah, it's like an invitation to more discussion.
Yeah, it's getting the students to talk to each other and talk to me. And as Lasse said, you need some trust. And if you are the new teacher, you don't have the trust yet. So it's you can use it to build trust, and you can use it to regain the trust. And
or like a warm up,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you mentioned vulnerability here, and I think we all share an appreciation that vulnerability builds trust, and the anonymity piece is important here to build trust as well. Do you practice that? Is that something that you find? I'm looking at Dawn's questions here. Do you practice this vulnerability as well, or do you coach students to exercise it? And how much do you feel is right to share with your students?
Well, for me, I do try to be a role model in that aspect, and I try to be vulnerable with my students, of course, to a certain degree. I mean, I'm not. You shouldn't lay too much on your students that and you still need to be professional, of course. But I do try to show vulnerability and imperfections and be able to laugh at myself and also share things that can be difficult, or so I definitely try to do that, and I feel like it has a very positive effect. I feel like it creates a great culture in the classroom. It makes it much easier for them, and I feel like the class I have now, of course, it takes some time to build that, but the class I have now that I've had for 3 years now, almost 4 years, it's just natural to them to be vulnerable in the classroom.
And it sounds to me like you're drawing the line. I see Tara's question here in Idaho, where Tara is, parents often raise concerns about schools or teachers talking with students about sensitive topics and how you guide teachers in these conversations. My sense is the line here is being open to talking about making mistakes. And that is within the scope and realm of teaching in the classroom. That's not necessarily sharing personal information or going beyond the bounds of what would be professionalism, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
I had a platform question here that from Jason of how do 4 WOOFs in the school and WOOFs in your classroom. So this is related to the oversight across the classroom and school. So Les and Rasmus are both using this in their class. So they have a teacher may have a single class or they may have multiple classrooms. And so that is a count that in your classes means how many WOOF check-ins